Hey guys, what's up? It's Darkbeck here and welcome back to another video. Today we're covering off Waycrest Manor for the tank Mythic Plus guides for new tanks and beginner level tanks and things like that, moving into that plus 10 affix. So I know how daunting it can be moving into that new bracket with Awakened, the new affix, and the expectation that you're supposed to know what you're doing with the Obelisk. So these videos are for you to try and give you the confidence and idea about what you can do with the Obelisks and where your group will generally expect you to put them and what to do with them. So I've got two videos I'm going to flick back and forth from in segments here today, and the main reason is that Waycrest Manor is a little bit of a lottery in regards to what doors you get. Ideally you always want to get top left. It's the door that you're always kind of chasing after. If you don't get top left, however, you still have options. So I'm just going to show you what we do when we don't get top left here today. You of course may elect to do something completely different, and that's fine, but this is just for an idea. Now this is, both Waycrest videos I've got are fairly old. I just haven't had any Waycrest keys recently. So this one's on Tyrannical Bursting Skittish, so it was quite a while ago, but bear with me here. So opening pull, always the same. You go and grab everything, kill it, pew pew pew. Blob's always going to be up the top of the stairs, so what we're going to do is I'm going to grab the blob and I'm going to move it out of the way. Now in this key we did not get top left, we got top right, which is generally the worst door that you can get. So what we're going to do, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag the blob out of the way so the DPS can get to the Mind Tentacles without having so much shit around them and things like that. Now it's important to know that the Mind Flay Tentacles react to affixes as well, so they will bolster, they will rage, enrage, sorry, so just be aware of that. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this blob up, and we're going to drag the blob, sorry I know you can't see any of this, I'm going to drag this blob all the way through the manor. So I'm in Rao's hallway now. I'm dragging my blob across the hallway, the courtyard, sorry. I'm going to take it around and up the stairs because top right, you have to go up the stairs. I'm dragging this all the way into the witch's room. So you can see I'm down in the witch's room now. The blob will snap to you when you line of sight it, like downstairs and things like that as well. If you jump down, it will snap to you. So I'm going to kill this in the witch's room, and then we're going to come out and start our run pretty much as if we had got top left. So that is something that you can do if you do not get the top left door. It just helps plan out your route a little bit better. It's easier on hero. It does take around probably 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes to run across there after you deal with like your first pull. However, it's totally worth it, and Waycrest is generally fairly forgiving. So that's what we do if we don't get top left. So going back into a slightly newer run where we did get top left, so I'm just going to fast forward this to the key start, sorry. So this is a Fortified Bolstering Grievous, so I think this was last week, I think. So it's just a little bit more recent in regards to damage output and things like that, whereas the other one was ages ago. So first pull like normal, blob like normal as I just showed you guys. Then we got top left, so I'm just going to drag the blob up and we're going to kill it down here, just in the witch's room again. So then we're going to come out and we're going to go into this first pack on the right. Now, percentage-wise, you guys can do whatever you like. You can go straight into the witches here if you don't want to kill either of these packs on the side. The big thing is just to make sure on the Acolyte that you are interrupting the bone splinters. Also do like a drain something, drain essence. Just get kicks. Grip out, don't stand in bad swirly stuff from the toads, and you're pretty much Gucci. So we're just going to kill one side. Now we screw percent in this, by the way, but lucky for you, I'm going to show you what happens if you get to the last boss and you don't have enough percent, that you can still make this and it's fine. So we're on to witches now. Witches, make sure that you've got a kick order. Generally where you're going to want to get your hero on insta cooldown, unless you're doing something else. We just elected to hero witches on Fort Week. Realistically, you're probably well better off in regards to doing a giant trash pack and heroing. However, we just did it on witches. So witches, kick, make sure you're always taunting the one that's got the orb as the tank. You can see on your player frames which one gets the orb. It does say which one is claiming the Iris too. Just make sure that you're picking them up as the tank. Make sure that you're moving when you've got the Aura of Dread on you. You can jump on the spot when you've got Aura of Dread on you as well. Let me find one where I've got Aura of... Is it Aura of Apathy or Aura of Dread? I don't even know what one it's called. Is it this one? Nah, it's not this one. Hold on. Focusing. Aura of Dread. Alright, so here's the Aura of Dread. Now what happens when you stand still with the Aura of Dread is bad things happen and you take more damage. You can just jump up and down on the spot and that will count as moving, so you won't get stacks of it. So just know that if you didn't, you don't need to continually strafe side to side, AD, AD, AD. You can just jump up and down on the spot. And you can jump up and down on the whole spot if for the whole fight if you want to crisscross it. So killing the witches like normal, pew 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 pew, and then we're done. So then we're gonna go out into the hallway. Chewie died to Nettles because Keta let him die. Terrible healer. So we're gonna move into the hallway now. I wanted to do a big pull, but we got a witch, so I'm just doing the captain's the captain guard. Yep, and the witch. Now with the guard, it does a shadow cleave. What you can do with the shadow cleave is you can set yourself up so you can strafe away from it quickly. When it goes to do a shadow cleave, you can actually strafe away from it and avoid getting hit with that damage. You just need to make sure that no DPS are in front of you, obviously, that are getting hit by the cleave. Not really too much else to really worry about this. With the witches or the vine twisters, just try and kick the grasping thorns. Otherwise, fair bit of damage always comes out from the mobs in Waycrest, especially when it is fortified. But again, kite if you need to. With the shadow cleave, maybe you can strafe away from that. So next we're going to come up. There's always these two that will pat up and down the stairs, so you can either skip them or grab them. Here comes the shadow cleaves, so you can see just how much damage that does to you. So you can cop it on the chin like a right champ if you want, or as I said, remember you can strafe away. Just make sure that your DPS aren't getting hit by you, hit by it as well. Not really too worried in an 18 about it, so I'm just going to face tank it all. So we're going to kill these four. Kite, again, you know, never feel like you just have to stand there and face tank till you die, guys. You can well and truly always kite away if you need, and it is bolstering as well, so when things get bolstered or in rage, generally it's a pretty smart idea to run away. What I'm going to do here now is you can see the doggos come around. So with the doggos, you can stand in this doorway. There's two packs of dogs that will pat around. Here's the second pack up here running, and here's the other one. What you can do is you can just wait at this door. You can collect this one as they come around. These ones will come around and join it, and then you can just drag them back in. Just tell your DPS to chill for a moment. So I'm going to wait at the door here. They're going to come around. I'm going to grab these ones. Next pack's coming around now. Going to grab them, and then we're just going to blow them up as well. Yeah. Pew pew pew. So again, bolstering, move out of the way. Then we're going to run into this middle pack here. So hounds and a thorn shaper. I think we screw up a pull coming up here. I think we dead set do. So killing this thorn shaper, just make sure that you interrupt the soul fetishes. It's not really a big issue, but when it's just a single mob, but just make sure you're interrupting the soul fetishes and the infected thorns. Then we're going on to this thorn guard and thorn shaper. So what we need to watch out for here is, again, the infected thorns you can kick. The big one is on the thorn guard though, and I can't remember what it's called. Thorn shaper will do an uproot. Don't stand in the bad stuff, otherwise you will get punted away. It's a little swirly that goes. And I dead set thought, there it is, it's on the thorn shaper. It's that effigy reconstruction. You need to interrupt that when there's a thorn guard up, otherwise it'll go back to full HP, which is going to be a bad time. I'm going to pull these two in front then, and then we're going to move into screwing up the Matron Pack. Now, what we wanted to do and we miscommunicated here was generally the easiest thing to do is for the tank to run and grab the Matron and just like do no damage and pretty much get your DPS to just mash the hounds, get aggro on them and run out here and kill them so they don't bolster Matron. We screw that up and I don't want to show you, so we kill the hounds, nothing happened, nothing to see here, and then so we killed the hounds, no worries, and then we're just finishing up the Matron right now. So killing the Matron, and then we're on to the tree boss. Now on Tyran, I would always, my preference is to have hero on the tree boss and to have hero for Lord and Lady Waycrest. As a DK, they're the most intensive fights I feel on a high Tyran key for a DK. Again, depending on your key level, your class, you can do whatever you want here, but we don't have hero and it's not a problem on a fortified week to do the tree boss without hero. So again, with tree boss, biggest thing as a tank is just managing your crushes. So you've got your boss stacks here which amplify the damage of the next crush that comes. Just make sure you've got cooldowns for it if you are going to take it for an extended amount of time, make sure you're communicating with your healer. If you stand in the middle, no fire will actually spawn on the boss. I generally try to make it to about 30 stacks and then go for a reset. So you can see there it was 33 stacks, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run him over into the fire. What you can also do is, if you've got another class with a taunt, is you can ping pong taunt him if you get into trouble, there's no fire pulls, or you don't want to reset him. Again, play to whatever strength you've got there. So I'll generally go to like 30 stacks and then reset, and then I generally don't need to reset it again, though sometimes I will have to go for a second reset. So he's down, and then we're going to move into Raoul's corridor. Now, moving in here, easiest thing you can do here is pull trash and then just bring it back outside. Reason you want to generally bring things back outside is there is so much more room to move. There's much more room to kite. Your DPS aren't sort of in a hallway, so they're not kind of trapped in a hallway and, you know, unable to move out of things or unable to see things. So that's always the things that you should be thinking about as a tank. You want to watch these gorges and the peasants, as they will bolster from the smaller things around it. The maggots don't bolster anymore, which is really good. So then I'm going to grab these gorges, and I'm going to grab the piglet and things like that up the end. Once you've sort of cleared out a bit of room and you can get in here where people can see, and it's not too bad if you've cleared a bit of that hallway up, then you can generally sort of start pulling in here. Otherwise, if you were going for a big hero pull, I'd be pulling things and going outside. So we're going to kill them. Again, watch out for the retch on these gorges. They'll do a retch, so make sure you're trying to face them away from your group, as it is a frontal, and you don't want people to be getting hit by it. So what we should have done is cleared the entire hallway. However, we didn't, and we end up losing out on percent in that in the end. So just be aware of that. You'll also see Rello has really good dungeon weakers. It'll show you when people have been infested with ads. You can kick the infest cast, which means people won't get infested and drop these maggots at the end. We ended up pulling through the floor, which was really unfortunate from a Twilight Devastation. So we end up wiping because we pulled the whole bottom floor. So we end up running back. Now, generally that won't happen to you, so it's fine, but it happened to us. So we're just going to grab these top 3 Thorn Shapers in the corner here. Again, just watching the infected Thorn casts. And I think they do the effigy as well, just making sure we kick that. There's the effigy, make sure you kick them, don't stand in the roots, and that's about it. So we're going to kill them, and then now because we had our rogue go around, pull Raoul and vanish, it opens up all the doors, so it means we can go in there. Now percent wise, we needed to clear this whole hallway. We didn't, so we're going to end up short, but that's what we should have done. We should have finished up doing the hallway for the extra percent. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a big pull of Raoul's room, and we're just going to pull it outside. Now again, as I said, going outside, much better visibility, room to kite, yada yada yada, generally the way you want to do it. Just make sure with these stewards, they'll do a dinner bell. You want to interrupt the dinner bell or be at a range where it doesn't affect you, otherwise you'll be silenced. So just make sure you've got kicks on them. Again, on bolstering, it gets a little harder in here because there's so many mobs with different health pools. Things are generally going to end up bolstering and get a little bit out of hand. As you can see, we've got some 4, 5, 6 stack bolsters going on here, which is far less than ideal on the gorges, because the gorges will just absolutely smack people and kill them. So again, just run away if you need to. Kite, slow, stuns, ring of pieces, anything you need to do. So then we're going back into Raoul's room. So I've done half of Raoul's room, and now I'm going to grab the other half of Raoul's room. So we're grabbing this, and you can see the hallway that we didn't pull there. It haunts me. So again, running back out, same rules apply, kicks on stewards so the dinner bells don't go off. Try not to bolster everything, gorges get bolstered again in here. It's just a bolstering Waycrest is just not much fun. It's not much bueno. So we've cleared out Raoul's room, and now we're going to pull Raoul. So we did a hero, hero came back up when we were pulling Raoul's room, so that's where we wasted our hero, just to try and clear that out. And again, if it is a fortified week, I would 100% encourage you to use your heroism on large trash packs rather than bosses, just because the trash in Mythic Plus is always the largest problem anyway. So be sinking your hero in there, especially when you are you'd be crushing fortified bosses, so to speak. With Raoul, with the Tenderize as a tank, you don't actually really need to move. It doesn't hit us that hard, so don't be too concerned in regards to strafing the entire length of the room to try and get out of those Tenderizers. If he swallowed servants, you might want to think about it, but otherwise tanks can generally just sit in those tenderizers and not have too many issues. You don't want to stand in the green shit on the ground, the green ooze, but you can stand in the tenderizers. Now, one thing to be aware of, and I'm just going to wait before I fast forward it because I want to show you something. He'll do this. Here comes the tenderize now. Now, when he does this tenderize, it's like 3 casts where he does whatever. When he's doing this, you always have to be in melee range of him. However, when he's doing this, you can actually run away from him. Now, if you wanted to pull the mobs in the kitchen onto Raoul, not on a bolstering week, you could actually use this opportunity to run into the kitchen and pull the maggots and whatnot onto Raoul. So if you were looking to make up time or do larger pulls or things like that, that's an option that you can do when he's doing this tenderized little 3-way pew pew splat splat. So just know that. It's good to know. But other than that, same old, kill the ads, make sure the servants don't reach him if you can, and that's pretty much it. So we're going to kill Raoul, and then we're going to go into the kitchen. Now you can see the maggots here. So this is what I was talking about grabbing, by the way, while he was doing his tenderize. Sometimes there will be a witch in here as well, so just be aware of that in regards to if you are going to pull it onto Raoul. Obviously make sure that you can cope with it. The witches will do a cleave as well, so just make sure that you're not standing in front of that. You can let the etches go off. The etches don't really do anything of great consequence, and it just gives you a little bit more free DPS time on the witch, especially great in weeks like necrotic and things like that. So we're going to kill this, and then what we're going to do is we're going to run back out into the courtyard, and we're going to take this obelisk, and we're going to take it, we might actually even kill it here. Not sure what we do with this obelisk. Do we take it down? Let me see. No, we actually kill it in here. So again, it depends what you want to do with obelisk. We're going to do one with the last boss. So it didn't really matter where we killed this obelisk, because then we're going to take the next one that's actually in the kitchen down to Lord and Lady Waycrest. So it didn't really matter what we did with this obelisk. So we're just going to sort of kill it where it is, and then we're going to take this one and go down to Lord and Lady Waycrest. Make sure you go and open the door before you click on this, otherwise when you go in here, the door will be closed and sometimes you can't get down the door. It's actually very, very toxic. So again, the little flesh fiends, just watch out. They will do quite a bit of damage when their dot starts to stack on you. You can AMS off your fear before it goes off and avoid being feared, so just be aware of that. So door's open, just going to drag him through, and we're going to drag him down here, down the stairs. Make sure we kill him here, and then we are going to come out and go into this pack down here. Now again, you can pull it all. It just depends on what the week's like. I'm not sure if this was a really messy run. This was just like a mates pug together kind of, let's just, you know, have fun run. But I actually think we might wipe here because we might bolster something like beyond the realm of ridiculous. So the soul charmers, you can see they do a warding candles. You need to drag all the mobs out of the candles. It's very bad. So when you see the candles going off on the soul charmer, make sure you're interrupting the soul volleys too, especially on things like raging weeks and that. But warding candles, what you want to do is you want to drag all the mobs off, and you can see that the soul charmer will be glowing blue. They'll glow blue if they're in the aura of these candles, so just make sure that you get them out of the candles. So killing them, oh, we didn't screw it up. Well, it's bolstered 4 times. Yeah, nah, we screwed it up. Everybody dead. Everybody dead. All right, Keta didn't die though. So we get a res off, and then we're good because we pulled all that. So then we're going to pull Lord and Lady Waycrest. Now again, I generally like hero on Lord and Lady Waycrest on high Tyrant weeks. However, it does depend as well if you're doing an obelisk with the last boss, which you will generally elect to do. And the reason being is, you know, upstairs before you come down here, the other obelisk is located in the corner pack where all the shit is that you generally never ever want to pull with the padding matron. So generally, you're going to want to fight the last boss with an obelisk each time, and you're generally going to want hero for that. So something to take into consideration. Now with the wasting strike as well, just want to talk about this. You can AMS this and not take it. As a warrior, you can spell reflect it. Another thing you can do as a warrior is delay the wasting strike casts each time, and then you'll have spell reflect up for nearly everyone. Now the way that you do that is, if wasting strike was going on and your spell reflect was on cooldown from the last one, you'd have your healer arranged somebody out here, like where this Shadow Priest is that I'm circling around here, where Stranger is. I'd then intercept to Stranger before Wasting Strike went off, like as it was casting, I'd intercept. He would run to me, he would start casting Wasting Strike again. I would heroic leap back over here. He would run back to me, and by the time he got back to me, I would be able to spell reflect Wasting Strike again, which saves you a lot of damage on you and puts a lot of damage back onto him. So it's actually quite a pog thing to do. On the DK, you've only got AMS that you can really use. Use it every time it's up to avoid getting the debuff from Wasting Strike, and that's pretty much all you can do. They changed it so the pools hurt a little bit now. You used to be able to stand in the purple pools. You want to dodge the purple pools now. Biggest thing is to make sure when Lady Waycrest comes down that you get a taunt ASAP so she doesn't slap someone in the face. Then just have an interrupt order to make sure that you're interrupting the kicks, the casts from Lady Waycrest. The racking cord or whatever it's called, and that's pretty much it, guys. So once that's done, you can have your healer go and stand either on one of these pillars, which they can get on by jumping down the stairs, or there is a spot up the back on this ledge here, which we could have used this ledge right here, but we probably would have pulled this sister. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kill this sister again. We should have dragged this in, but we screwed up the bolstering pool anyway, so it's probably a good thing we didn't, but you would have cleared this out if you were going to do this strat. Another thing you can do is, if you've made percent by here, is you can shroud down that little sort of, I don't know, deathly avenue to the last boss, but you can actually shroud all this if you want. Otherwise, what we're going to do is we're just going to pull the ones here, and we're going to come back. Now, Keta is on a ledge. Up here, you can have Keta, you can have Keta. You can either have your healer or your range. As long as they're standing up here, when you get to the spot, the little things that people used to think that were dogs, I was one of those people, will not jump. So, which is absolutely what you want, because it means people won't get absolutely cornholed by them. So, as they come in, get them into, get them all clumped up, obviously spin them away so the Shadow Cleave doesn't hit anybody, and just pretty much just nuke them down. And they won't jump if your ranger up on this ledge or your healer is up on that ledge. They won't jump, and they make, you know, far easier to deal with. Again, bolstering, a little bit unfortunate, just watch out for that stuff. We didn't die. What a bunch of champs. Look, we got 17 deaths in here. What a pack of champs. And then we're just going to finish up the last two. If you do have a range that can hit the last two in here, get them to do that and run back, because that way you'll pull the entire thing out and you won't worry. With bolstering, we just kind of left the last two to kill them, but we're fine on time, but it's far from ideal to do it that way. So if you can get someone to pull them and reach them with a spell, absolutely get them to do that. Go back to the pull spot. Another thing you can do is that you can shroud through, as I said. Or another option is you can have your tank speed pot come through this way, go up the stairs all the way to the top, and then once they've all trailed the tank, everyone can run through, go down the bottom to the well. Your tank can either shadow meld up the top, which sometimes works, otherwise they can die, the mobs will all reset, and your healer can res you, and then you can do the last boss. All depends on what your percent's like. Or if you're absolutely huge, you can speed pot run them all the way down and do them with Gorak Tool and the Obelisk, if you're huge, because you can actually jump up on this table here as a ranged or a healer and do it from there. However, you know, that's big. Now, one of the biggest things that I should have spoken about, I didn't mention anything about the tank Obelisk, I've just realized. Tank Obelisk, guys, sorry, I'm going back, this guy's crap. He'll do a Spirit Breaker on you. When that goes off, make sure you have something to be hit by the Spirit Breaker, some form of mitigation, be it shield block, ignore pain, demoralizing shout, you know, a rune tap, a vamp blood, an AMS, anything. Just make sure you've got something up. Shield of the Righteous, Iron Skin Brew, you know where I'm going with this. Make sure you've got something up. When you get hit with Spirit Breaker, you'll have a debuff on you. Try not to face tank it while it's up. Run away from it. It'll also cast Dark Fury. Don't stand in the purple circle, and that's the Tank Buster one. Now we're doing the Spider one with Gorak Tool. Now the Spider one is a two kick cast, and then it'll lull for a while, and then it'll do the same two casts over and over, lull for a while, same two casts. So you just need 2 kicks, wait, 2 kicks, wait, 2 kicks, wait. It's going to be your focus when you're doing this as well, because you want to burn that down as quick as you can. So don't be focusing Gorak Tool don't be focusing Gorak Tool. You're wanting to make sure that you are just burning down the add whatever obelisk you're fighting with this as well. Now, if you fight the spider with the last boss, you won't get the little creepy crawly adds with it, you just have to do the interrupts. If you fight the blob with the last boss, you won't have to do the tentacles, you'll just have to move out of the purple shit. You'll never do a tank buster with the last boss, so that's not even something to worry about. And if you ever end up doing the fear boss, which isn't even a combination in Waycrest Manor, I don't think, just make sure that you've always got your back to a wall, but in here, so you'll just get feared into a wall, but in this sort of area down here, you can't get feared into anything that's going to kill you anyway, so it's not really a problem. Gorak Tool's going to summon these little adds. Sorry, getting into this actual fight now. It's going to summon these little adds, these slavers. As a DK, you can grip every single cast off. So mass grip to yourself or to Gorak Tool, single grip, asphyxiate. They're the things you can use to stop those casts. Monks can ring a piece them. I think they can paralysis them as well. They can. Rogues can stun them. I don't know if gouge works. You can, DHs can stun them. Loads of things. Just don't let the Death Lens casters get off. So you can see I'm just going to grip them in. Gorak Tool's going to do a Darkened Lightning cast. Make sure you have someone interrupting that. And that's about it. So you can see we're going to finish him up, and we are 4% short because we didn't clear out that hallway, remember? Now if you find yourself in this position where you haven't cleared out the hallway, what you can do is you can run up here. Lady Waycrest is going to be coming down the stairs. When she gets here, click on her, lead the way. Hurry up, woman, lead the way. And it'll port you back to the start. What you can then do is all the doors are open. You can come out here to the bottom right, and here is the hunting lounge. And then you can just grab whatever you like in the hunting lounge. You know, we have 4% to do. So I've just grabbed one pack and I'm gonna peel it around the corner, and we're just gonna kill one pack to get our last 4%. So it's like 2 mobs, I think. But if you kill the hallway, you won't have to bother doing this. It was just quite bad by us. Okay, it turns out to be 3 mobs. So we kill this marksman, messy as fuck, but we get the key. So don't stress too much if you end up being slightly short at the end. You can talk to Lady Waycrest, port back up here, and worst case, you know, you could kill that entire hunting lodge. Yeah, if you were that short, but if we had cleared out the hallway, we would be fine. Play around on MDT, guys, so you know your percentages. This was just kind of a YOLO shitfest run, and we had 18 deaths, so you can kind of see that, but the time is very lenient in Waycrest, and you're generally going to do the exact same things with the obelisk. So just to reiterate, if you get top left, you're Gucci. If you don't, you can opt to run your obelisk all the way around there, and then from there you'll just be taking that kitchen obelisk down into there's the middle obelisk, sorry. You can just fight and kill that wherever. You'll take your kitchen obelisk down to Lord and Lady Waycrest, and then you should always be trying to elect to fight Gorak Tool with an obelisk. It's not that dangerous of a fight to avoid it, and it's just far easier than having to clear the trash around the other obelisk that you would be electing to do if you didn't want to fight it with Gorak Tool. So any questions, hit me up in the comments below, guys. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe. Come find me on Twitch. Come say hi in the Discord. Thank you very much for checking out the video. I'll see you all next time. See you, fam.